right, tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary of President Trump taking office. He accomplished two major campaign promises this year: tax reform and sort of building the wall. Well, he built prototypes of the wall, but he also accomplished another important campaign promise, and that was a conservative on the Supreme Court. We went out to the streets of New York today to find out what folks here in New York thought about some of Trump's accomplishments. Here's their response.
My opinion is the only thing he's accomplished is undoing progress of the last 8 years before that.
A lot of chaos and not much else, honestly.
I think we backtracked a lot, but I think it also, the people of America always seem to come together.
I feel a little disappointed in the way he carries himself. Not super presidential, some of the things he says, and I'm a little disappointed in some of the choices he's made for the environment.
He's taken credit for the economy, but he had nothing to do with that because it was improving before he got there.
I mean, as far as with some businesses, maybe some people have benefited from the tax plan. I certainly haven't read the whole thing, but I guess there are always positives to take away from things. A lot of people don't really like him personally and what he's doing, but hopefully he's accomplished some things. I know, he's commuted some sentences, and that's affected people, and I guess there are a lot of things that he has done.
You see, we do include voices of dissent on this network. And joining us now to weigh in on Trump's first year and the looming government shutdown is Pat Buchanan. He's former GOP presidential candidate, former staffer for Presidents Reagan and Nixon. He's author of the book Nixon's White House Wars: The Battles That Made and Broke a President in Divided America Forever. Pat, always good to have you on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to talk with you folks.
I don't know if you could hear what the folks said here out in the streets of New York, but it was no surprise.
No, it's not. I mean, New York City is not a bastion of Trumpism.
It's not.
A lot of anger, a lot of hostility in people's voices.
It really. What amazed me though, Pat, and I'd love your take on this, is they're not willing to give him any credit for an economy that was growing at sub 2.5% growth, which we were told would never, ever, ever, ever grow above 2.5% growth again, and yet we are on the verge of our third consecutive quarter of 3% growth. Why won't they just give him credit?
We saw Paul Krugman, who got a Nobel Prize, who said if Trump's elected, we're all going to hell in a handbasket. And I mean, the economy has grown more rapidly under Trump than under Obama. Black unemployment and Hispanic unemployment and white unemployment are down in some of the lowest levels in history. You got the stock market at 5,000 or 6,000 points, which is a sign of confidence for the year ahead. I mean, in the economy, he's done exceedingly well. He's unleashed business. He's rolled back an awful lot of regulations. We're now drilling in the ANWR. Some of those pipelines are going to be built. We're not bogged down by that Paris Agreement. So I think the president's done an awful lot of things. But the main thing he's done, Bill and Jessica,
let's not forget about the Dow Jones and the stock market. It's some of the highest that we've seen in years. Yeah. Everything is positive and going up, and it's just the Democrats' agenda to tear everything down, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. And because they have a personal vendetta against President Trump, and that's why you find so much anger and hatred in people's voices when you speak to them. They're just in complete denial about the good credibility that he's accomplished. I mean, who's not going to be thrilled to have lower taxes? That's a win-win situation for everybody, corporate and individual.
Well, and you know what, Pat, that brings up a really interesting question, too, because the Democrats want to run on these tax cuts. Do you think that might be a mistake in terms of a strategy for the Democrats?
Well, let me say that what are the Democrats going to say? Don't worry, if we get in, we'll raise the taxes back to the old levels of 35% on all corporations. You want to see what happens to the stock market then? I mean, I'll tell you the one thing that Trump and the people talking in the street there tell you something about it. I've never seen a president in my lifetime take a worse beating from the media and from his adversaries in politics than Donald Trump every single day. And one of his great achievements, frankly, is having survived that and getting up every morning and going out and doing battle for what he believes in. I don't agree with everything the president is doing, but I've never seen somebody who's taken such a beating and really conducted himself as someone who will really fight back.